You asked last night whether the traveler has to be alive at all.
I did, and you have clearly been chewing on it since.
I am a bit cross if I am honest about it.
Cross is often the sound of somebody about to be right.
Every single night I have pictured a person in the ship.
You did, and nobody ever asked you to.
You never once said the word person, did you?
Not once, and you supplied that bit for free.
So the perfect moment kept moving away from a worry I invented.
Take the somebody out and count what is left standing.
Nearly nothing is left standing, and that is quite annoying.
Tonight, the traveler does not have to come home.
Start me somewhere cheerful, because I've been gloomy for nights.
Only a few months ago, some people went farther from home than anybody ever had.
This year, actual people, and nobody told me.
A crew rowed out to our companion and swung right around the back of it.
The side we never get to see from the garden.
They looked at ground no eyes had ever looked at before.
I would have cried, honestly.
They did, and they asked to name 2 new hollows while up there.
And the record they beat, how old was that one?
Older than your parents, and set by a crew who were in serious trouble.
So nobody went farther for all that time.
Not one soul until this spring, and now the door is open again.
That is properly good news, and I am taking it.
Take it because it is real and it happened while you were watching.
How long were they gone for out that far?
About a fortnight, and then the sea caught them on the way down.
A fortnight is not very long for the farthest anybody has ever been.
There it is, and you found it yourself again.
The farthest a person has ever been is there and straight back.
Around our companion and home again, and that is the whole of it.
But we have been out past the giant worlds. I have seen it.
We have, and not one person was aboard any of it.
Not one out of everything we have ever sent out.
Every single one of them was a made thing.
All of them, without exception, for the whole of my life.
For the whole of anybody living, which is the part worth noticing.
So the sending is not a new idea somebody is proposing.
It is the only thing your species has ever actually done.
Show me the 2 of them beside each other, please.
Here is how far each of you has ever got.
Oh.
The short one is every person who has ever lived.
And the long one is the things we made and let go of.
Yes, and one of those is very much farther out than the rest.
The one you showed me before, that has been flying since forever.
Very nearly half a century of flying and never once a stop for a rest.
With less computer aboard it than the doorbell at my house.
Considerably less, and it is out there now, and it answers when we call.
Nobody packed it a lunch or a spare jumper or a friend.
No dinner, no air, no water, no company, and no rescue if anything went wrong.
And it did not mind the dark, which I would have minded enormously.
It has been alone out there longer than most people keep a promise.
I keep wanting to say it is brave, and I know that is silly.
The bravery was on the ground, in the people who built it and let it go.
It looks so small on its own out there.
It is smaller than a family car, and it is the farthest thing you own.
Is it going to keep answering us forever then?
No, and nothing is broken. It is simply running quietly out of power.
So what do the people who look after it actually do?
They switch off one sense at a time, so the voice lasts a little longer.
That is the kindest and saddest thing I have heard all week.
They are trying a clever repair, and it might switch a sense back on.
Go back and knock down my worries with it, one at a time.
The kitchen and the school and the rooms inside are simply not needed.
And nobody is born on the way, and nobody has to be asked.
Nobody in the middle to be unfair to, which was the worst of it.
And no long sleep to wake anybody up from at the far end.
Nothing to wake, nothing to feed, nothing to be frightened by the dark.
What about last night, though? The being sailed past by a better one.
A made thing does not mind being passed because it was never in a hurry.
Oh, that is the whole trap gone, just like that.
Here is the one that matters, and it is the reason the rest fell over.
Go on then, give me the big one.
A made thing does the one thing no person can, which is not mind how long.
A whole life spent on the way costs it precisely nothing.
Every wall this season built was about keeping somebody alive on the way.
So which bits of tonight are the ones I can lean my weight on?
All of it so far, and every word of that part is ink we can check.
Then I am waiting for the bit where you take something back.
Here the pencil starts in 3 parts, and none of them is an engine.
Give me the first part and do not soften it.
It goes somewhere nobody here can help it, and that is a very lonely sentence.
But we call it, you said so, it answers when we call.
At the star next door, a question takes years to arrive, and the answer years to come back.
So by the time we shouted be careful, it would be over already.
Nobody here can tell it what to look at or what to make of what it finds.
Then it has to work out everything for itself.
Everything, alone, longer than anybody has ever asked a made thing to decide anything.
And all of that is the waiting in between.
The long line is the years, and the years go both ways.
That is not an engine problem at all, is it?
It is a judging problem, and it is nowhere near solved by anybody.
Do the people who think about this say that out loud?
They call it perhaps the hardest thinking for itself problem ever set.
Because out there it will meet things nobody thought of.
And there will be nobody older and wiser anywhere within years of it.
Make it smaller then. You keep saying smaller is easier.
Smaller makes every part easier, right up until the very last part.
And the very last part is what, exactly?
Telling us, which is the only part of the whole trip that we get.
A tiny thing would have a tiny voice.
A very small voice calling across a quiet that is unimaginably wide.
How small are we actually talking about here?
Smaller than you are imagining, and the voice is smaller still than that.
So it could get all that way and simply not be heard.
The people who did the sums say the whole idea may stand or fall on being heard.
As hard as the crossing itself, then.
Possibly harder, and they say possibly rather than certainly, which is honest.
A traveler that arrives and cannot tell anybody.
Has not really arrived, which is the saddest true sentence I know.
There is a third part, and you have been saving it.
If the made thing goes out there and every one of us stays here, did we go?
Obviously we did, because we built it and we sent it.
Serious people say exactly that, and other serious people say nobody went.
Well, which of them is right? Go on.
Not settling that one either, because both sides hold something true.
That is 3 nights running you have refused me.
3 nights of questions that turn on what you think going is for.
Fine, but somebody is building the next one tonight.
No, and I have checked carefully because I did not believe it either.
Say that again slowly, please.
The plan for the one after is finished and costed and sitting on a shelf.
Somebody did all that work, and then nobody said yes.
Nothing is on its way out there tonight. Not a person and not a made thing either.
Is somebody being lazy or mean or both?
Neither, and the people who say what ought to be done next have now asked for one.
Asked for, and still nobody has actually started.
Nobody is the villain of a decision that simply has not been made yet.
I posted a drawing to my grandmother once and thought about it for weeks.
Everybody has sent something ahead to a place they could not follow it to.
Is a thing you made and sent still a little bit you?
Everybody who ever made something and let it go has wondered exactly that.
11 nights of walls and prices and doors, and one small thing already gone.
Next time we gather it all up and answer the question, could we go there? So subscribe and come with us.